All right, cons.
Cons?
Yeah.
So I actually brought a list. No, I'm just kidding.
Welcome back, everybody. Career Insights. Today we have a pretty cool opportunity. We have two people today. We have a real estate agent, Zarina, and then we have a loan officer, Dillon. I have a short trivia question for you, since you're a real estate agent. Maybe you know. I don't know.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Do you know what the longest listing ever was for a mansion? It's a mansion. Think long.
Longest listing, like how long it stayed on the market?
I verified this. I looked it up, too.
I'm going to guess.
Wild guess.
I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, I got to guess too. I think Michael Jordan had a listing sitting for a long time, probably like 25, 30 years.
Oh, dang.
Kind of in between, like 15.
Okay.
That's pretty. Those are good guesses because I was, you know what I mean. Like that's a really long time
Oh, yeah.
for a house to be on the market. But we're going to talk to Zarina today about being a real estate agent, and then it kind of goes hand in hand. If you're going to buy a house, most of the time you're going to need a loan. So Dillon, we're going to talk to Dillon about being a loan officer. But I really appreciate you two being here today. How are you?
Of course. Doing great.
Good.
Thank you for inviting us.
For sure. No, for sure. So let's start with Zarina.
Okay.
What got you into real estate?
So actually, I started just needing a part-time job in college. So I was just doing it to help pay for college, which is crazy, but it ended up turning into like a full-time career.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And like, were you kind of on the fence about, real estate, or were you thinking about something else and you're like, just go with this?
Yeah, I actually went into college thinking I was going to be a dentist. Yeah, which is like so off track.
Yeah.
But the opportunity ended up coming up, and I actually started as a transaction coordinator.
Wow.
So that's just somebody that does all the paperwork. And I loved it. I mean, it paid my bills. And so after that, I was very intrigued by other agents and like what they were doing on their day to day. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try that. And it was good money. So yeah, and it was a great market to be in too. It was during COVID.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. And it was not all like that all the time, but
It would be nice if it was like that
Right?
all the time. Yeah, totally.
Right.
So you were going to college you wanted to be a dentist.
yeah.
So did
Which is
real
crazy.
estate take you away from that? Or, at some
did.
point you changed your mind?
Yeah, real estate did take me away from that.
And, so I have this like story. I used to I didn't work with this guy, but I represented the agency that he worked for. And he was telling me, he was like, hey, Eric, I'm going to go be a dentist. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, how much is it? And it was like $480,000. I was
ridiculous.
like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, why don't you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's and it's not to discourage anybody, but it's
No,
like,
it's so
man,
true.
like how do you know how much you're going to make when you get out? Like all of those other things. Because that
Right.
is, I had just over $100,000 in student loans, and I know how much that was, and it was quite a bit. Thankfully, those are all gone now, but I can't even imagine at that level, like what was it kind of like being projected that it was going to cost that much?
Oh, yeah. So, my dad, he's in the dental industry. He makes dentures, but I was around that, like, growing up a lot.
Okay.
So that's why I chose that field. But what I did when I got into college, I started talking to a lot of different dentists in town.
Wow.
And all of them were like, don't do it. I was like, that's crazy. Like, they hate their jobs.
It's so smart that you did that, because that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that we have this podcast is a lot of people don't think to talk to the people that are in the field that they're curious
Exactly.
about, right? And then
Exactly.
myself being one of them, you know what I mean? Like I went to law school, I became an attorney, and I didn't really talk to a bunch of attorneys beforehand. Probably would have helped me and might even have swayed like my opinion, you know what I mean? But, kind of like what you're saying. So it's really interesting to hear that, because, it's very smart to go and do something like that and look where it's led you. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm so glad. They all told me not to do it.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Every single one told me not to do it.
Did they say why?
They said because you're going to be in so much debt, and like how much you make, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it to pay it off. They said to be a dental hygienist. They're like, if you're going to go the dental route, be a dental hygienist. You'll make way more money, and you're not gonna, leave school with a bunch of debt. So
Yeah. So all of the dentists that you talked to basically said, don't do it.
yeah.
And that was like the thought that I had when I was talking to my friend. It was like you're going to come out with basically like $500,000 in debt.
Yeah.
How much are you going to make when you come out? Even if it's $200,000, that's probably, you're barely going to get by.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know how much they make out of the gate, but I imagine it's not even near that.
No, it's not. And they still have to do residency.
Oh, wow.
So that's just crazy.
I just can't even imagine.
I've seen the student loans on the back end of things, and it's pretty hairy.
As a loan officer.
Yeah, I get to see the student loans on the backside.
How did you get into how did you get into doing what you're doing, being a loan officer?
Yes. So I initially met Jerry Sunt. He's the #1 loan officer here in Tucson, Arizona.
Nice.
I think he ranks like 52nd in the country.
Wow.
And this was like back in high school. He essentially discouraged me from doing a job that had a cap at all.
Yeah.
Like you can make upwards of 7 figures as a loan officer.
Wow.
So whenever I heard that, I was like, sign me up. Let me go get my finance degree, and then we'll hop into lending.
So getting your finance degree, what did that entail?
It was pretty simple. I went to Northern Arizona University. It's 4 years, and it's a lot of accounting, finance courses, economics. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time at NAU and learned quite a bit. That is not required to be, like, you do not need a degree in order to be a lender, though.
Okay.
So I could have gone straight out of high school, but wanted to have that degree to fall back on.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's a really smart thing. You know what I mean? Because that education definitely won't ever hurt you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, you're even the amount that it would cost, because I'm assuming it was like in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition, or.
So fortunately, I got a full academic scholarship.
Oh, okay. So you're good.
Yeah, NAU has like an amazing, what is it called, lumberjack scholarship.
Yeah.
Where as long as you have a 3.5 in your core classes, they'll give you a full tuition scholarship.
That's awesome.
So took advantage of that.
4-year degree at no cost, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you ever want to work for like a hedge fund or anything like that? Or?
I did. I had considered investments too.
Yeah. That's I love that. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm into investing, and I've always thought it'd be really cool to work at like a hedge fund, or, and then I heard about like quant trading and all this other stuff, and I was like, it's too late. I shouldn't say it's too late, but it's like, it would be such a hard transition to try to be like some high dollar quant trader, you know what I mean?
It's pretty intense from what I've heard too.
Yeah.
Like, you basically lose your life entirely. And
really, I didn't know it was that intense.
Yeah, you got to be like super good at math. Yeah. And to even get into one of these like funds or whatever, however they do it, like it's you basically got to be like super smart and super good at math.
Right.
So you get your degree, and then do you contact, is it Jerry?
So yeah, the family friend who worked on Jerry's team, I contacted her. It's like, hey, I'm ready to be a loan officer. And she actually encouraged me to go through a different company.
Oh, wow.
And have them pay for my licensing.
Oh, wow.
So went to work for one of the big mortgage companies. They paid for my licensing. This was also during COVID. So right in 2020, like May of 2020, I graduated, hopped right in as a loan officer, and was licensed by like June 18th.
So that's a good point that you're bringing up. So you get your degree, and you need a license to be a loan officer. Is that right?
Correct.
And is that through the state of Arizona?
It's actually national.
Okay.
MLS, NMLS. Yeah.
Is there like a test that you have to take, or?
Yeah, there is a test, and I believe you got to score above a 75%. The company that I worked for, they were actually firing anyone who got below like a 68%.
Wow.
So they wanted you to at least study quite a bit.
What did you get?
First try, 87.
Oh, that's really good. First try. Did you take it again?
What?
Yeah, did you take it? No, he's just
you're just saying
it was
the
on his
first time.
first try.
Yeah, it was on my first try.
That's really good.
Yeah, I didn't take it again, no. Not for fun.
First and only try.
Yeah.
So you get an 87.
Yeah.
And what is it like? Is there like a prep course that you need to take for that? And
Yeah.
how long did you study for the test?
So you have to hit, and I think it's a lot less than real estate. It's 20 hours of education courses. And then I think it's 8 hours after that specific to Arizona and whichever, state you want to get licensed in. It's individual like that. But it's not too demanding. We did have a teacher with that big corporation that I joined who trained us for 2 weeks, and then we were good to go jump on the test.
So basically a 2-week training course.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to go take the test?
It was accelerated. I think they encourage you to take about a month of studying.
Okay.
But they needed loan officers right away, so jumped right in.
Then the test, is it like a day, like half a day? Written test, like multiple choice? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's all multiple choice.
Okay.
You hop on like a proctored computer, and it took about 3 to 4 hours, I think.
That's not too bad.
Did you have to go somewhere to take the test?
Yeah, I did. I had to drive up to Phoenix to take the proctored exam.
Did you get the results like immediately, or did you have to wait?
Yeah, you get the results immediately.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Okay, it's very similar to ours then.
Yeah. I saw a few of the people in my class like crying because they were getting fired.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah, no, not a fun day for.
Yeah, that's terrible.
There's like 3. Yeah.
So you take the test, and then like, do you hit enter, and then like they give you the score right there?
No, it took like 5 minutes to generate. So you're just
Oh my god,
there,
I
like,
hate that. That was the worst
stressing.
feeling ever.
Is that how yours was
Yes.
too? Yeah.
It was the
pretty funny.
You're
worst.
sitting there
And
watching
it's like
it like
printing
load.
on a paper.
Yeah.
What, did it print on a paper?
No, mine was just like loading for 5 minutes
no, mine
straight.
was like a printed paper. It was just like waiting to come out of the printer, and I was like, oh no.
That's sketch.
So you get the 87. Do you call the place that you're going to work? Hey, I got the 87.
Yeah. No. Well, they let them know, and they
Okay.
send like a copy
I
of
see.
it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was right after that. They were like, all right, let's get you trained and on the phones to make
Nice.
calls.
So Zarina, let's talk about what it takes to become like a real estate agent. So what did you have to do to prepare to, well like what's involved?
Yeah.
You know, like what are the steps to become a real estate agent?
Yeah, so you don't need any college degree,
Okay.
obviously. But it's 90 hours, and you can, here in Arizona, you can go to Hogan School of Real Estate, which that's where I went. That's here local in Tucson, but there's also Arizona School of Real Estate. And they offer both online and in person, which was really helpful for me because I was a full-time college student.
Cool.
So I just did it online. And then you take your school exam. You have to pass your school exam. And then you take the state exam. So it's not national. It is state. But yeah, mine was proctored as well. And then we get the results right then and there.
So the online school. So did you go to Hogan or the other one?
I went to Hogan, here
Okay.
local.
So is it like, hey, I want to become a real estate agent. I want to pay for the course. And then you kind of just do it online?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you remember how much it was?
Yeah, I believe, inflation, but back then it was like $600 for the full package. And it included some study material.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I'd say the biggest cost up front that they don't tell you about is activating your license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you can go through the school, pass the test, which is $75. The test is $75. But activating it is actually around $1,500.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't get told that.
So when you go and you do the online school at Hogan, it's about $600. Is there a certain amount of time that you have to complete it? Or you can kind of finish it whenever you want type thing?
So if you're doing it online, then it's just on your own time.
Okay.
I believe it does expire in 6 months. So it does expire in a certain time frame. But, if you are just sitting down, knocking it out, I think people can do it within 2 weeks.
Okay. How long
Yeah.
did you spend?
Well, I was in college, so I took 4 months to do it. Yeah, it was a long time. Which was also, it was a little difficult for me to pass the exam because I was just juggling so much, trying to remember so much information.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah.
You were also a transaction coordinator, right? During that time?
No, I couldn't because I didn't have my license.
Oh, shoot.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just kidding. I was doing a little bit of paperwork on the side, but nothing like serious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you spend about 4 months to go through all the study material, and
Yes.
you feel like you're ready, kind of.
Yeah, I thought I was ready. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then I took the test and then I failed.
So where was the test at? And
So it was just here in Tucson. Yeah, it was here in Tucson at those big buildings on Broadway. I don't know why I can't remember, but it was like near the Blue Cross Blue Shield building. It was terrifying. I walked in there and I was like, am I going to prison? Like,
Really?
It was terrible. It was not a comforting experience to take a test.
Was there a lot of people there taking that test that day?
Yeah, there were, and they check you like crazy. You walk in and they're like patting you down.
Really?
And I'm like, at this time, I was 18 years old. I just turned 18. I was just terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, all these people in here are older than me. And the people that were in charge of it, they were probably like, oh my gosh, like she looks like a child. Like, what is she doing here? But no, it was.
How much was it to take that test that day? Was $75?
Yeah.
So you get the results the same day?
Yeah.
And so you get the results. Obviously, this is a disappointment. What did you think?
I was like, well, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. Like, and you know what? I think it's because, I don't know, I should have studied more. I thought it was going to be easier than I thought. And so after that, I was like, whoa, okay. I didn't like fail badly. I think it was like a low 70.
Okay.
And I needed a 75.
Few percent off.
But yeah, it was not easy. I was disappointed. But I mean, I kept going. I did not let that was just like fuel, because I know so many people that have tried to get their real estate license and they never got it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
They took the test like 7 times. I'm not kidding you. And they just give up, which I don't blame them. That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of times, yeah.
I kept going until I passed. I just kept taking it.
So when you you get the results and you keep studying, how long do you study for?
Gosh, I don't even remember. I had classes at the time, so I was honestly just fitting it in wherever I could.
And then you take it the second time. Is that when you pass?
Third time.
Third time. Okay, so second time. How do you feel after that? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to like.
No, that's fine. I was so frustrated. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was so frustrated.
Did you get a higher score or lower score?
It was, I don't remember, but it was around the same.
Okay.
Like it was, which I was so frustrated. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Do the results tell you where you're lacking?
The areas that you're lacking, which was very helpful because I was able to go back and focus on those areas. So that helped the most.
So let's talk about what are the areas in general. It doesn't have to be like specific, but like what are the areas in general, and where were you like kind of like lacking a little bit?
Oh gosh. Okay, I don't remember the specific areas that I was lacking, but I mean, what's crazy is that everything you learn in real estate school, you don't really need to know to do the job.
Sounds like law school.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah, it's exactly how law school
really?
is. Yes.
No, yeah, it's all legal. Like everything is just laws that you learn, and I've never had to tell anybody anything that I learned in real estate school. I mean, there's some things that are useful, of course. But other than like basic knowledge, it's like I don't have to use that word ever.
I've always said that like law school gets you to the bar exam, and then the bar exam allows you to practice law. But the one thing that I think I got out of law school was I really learned how to write then, and study.
Yeah.
Which is, I wish I would have learned that a lot earlier, which is when I should have, but I did learn to become a better writer, and I did learn, it forces you to learn how to study because the amount of information is so much. And there are some things, you know what I mean? There are some things that you get from law school that apply depending on like what area you go into, but realistically it's like, it doesn't teach you how to like be an attorney.
Right.
In whatever field you're doing. So it's probably very similar.
Or like be a therapist to people.
Yeah.
They don't teach you that.
So you have to study again.
Yeah.
Are you feeling a little disgruntled at this point?
Yeah, I was very frustrated. I was just going over flashcards over and over again. And then finally, what I did do that helped a lot was I did not take much time between the times I took the test. So I would just like knock out hours of studying as much as I could and then take the test right away.
So it's third time you go, you take the test, you pass.
Oh, I was so happy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. And I was so young, so I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is the best thing ever. I called my boss, which he was also paying for my licensing at the time. So, and that's the reason I got in is I actually met somebody in the industry and they said, they promised me all this great stuff. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great to me. I'm going to make a ton of money. And he's like, yeah, I'll pay for your licensing. I'm like, okay.
Nice.
So as soon as I saw the paper, I called him and I was just like, I passed.
What did he say?
He was like, oh my gosh, finally, we need to get you to work. That's all he said. He was like, we need to get you to work. I have all these tasks for you. I was like, okay.
How many months had gone by from the first time to the one you passed?
Oh my God.
6 months maybe?
Oh, no. I would say like 1 month.
Okay. Well, that's not bad.
It wasn't that long.
That's not bad. So,
yeah.
I was going to ask you something. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was you passed. I'll think of it. But so you pass, and then what? So you pass the test, and then you have to get licensed now.
Yes.
In the state of Arizona.
No. So that test is. Oh yes. So you have to activate your license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's basically done all online. I think they just need your fingerprint clearance. Yeah, it's pretty much done all online. Pretty easy process. But I mean, at this time, the Hogan School of Real Estate is supposed to be connecting different brokerages with you so that you can explore your options. This is for somebody that's not already set to go with a brokerage. So that's nice because you can interview different brokerages and see which one works for you. Because in my position, you're interviewing them because you're going to make the money, right? So it's opposite, which is interesting.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody? So it sounds like that the real estate test is fairly difficult because you knew a lot of people that didn't pass a bunch of times. You missed a couple times.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to somebody that wants to be a real estate agent that's going to have to study and eventually take the test? I
wouldn't say it's difficult. I do think that you have to apply yourself.
Okay.
You have to apply yourself when studying. Like, it's not something to take light. I remember I had a notebook, like, front to back. Every single page was filled out, highlighted, and that was my savior. But yeah, I mean, the best advice that I can give is to just study, really apply yourself. And the first time you take the test is going to tell you everything. And don't let that put you down. Like, take those results and really focus on what you're lacking in. That's the best advice I can give.
All right, so we've got both of you. You both licensed. We're going to go back to Dillon now.
Yes.
So what happens? Like, how do you get hooked up with Jeremy? What was his name?
Jerry.
Son.
But you're at a different company.
I'm at a different company. I'm working for one of the biggest loan servicers in the country.
Okay.
And
how did you get that job?
I had met a recruiter through college.
Okay.
And was pretty simple to get into the position. It was a sales-based position too, with like a finance background. So got into it pretty simply. We get our licenses, and it's immediately jump onto the phones and start making calls.
Where are so there's leads, I'm assuming? Where are the leads coming from?
So with that company, it was directly from all the loans that the company was servicing.
Oh, okay.
So with them being, I think they're second or third biggest loan servicers in the country, they had a huge database of leads to call out to. And for the very new recruit loan officers, we are getting the bottom of the barrel, like leads that you could call on to. People that just were very disgruntled from us calling.
What would be okay? So are you calling people that they've like put in a request to the loan company, or is it because like, hey, we're offering this promotion if you want to refinance, or all of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. Essentially, they like the loan servicer knows what rate they're at.
Okay.
So I mean, it was just refinances, especially at that time during 2020. I'd see, you're at a 4% rate. I can get you a 3% today.
Yeah.
Should be a pretty simple sell. But a lot of these people just were not having it. They didn't necessarily understand. Some of them, we were kind of squeezing the boundaries. Like, they'd be at a 3.5. I'm like, I can get you a 3.25 today, and they're like, dude, seriously?
Like,
that's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
But just scenarios like that. That's kind of how we started out.
So when you're starting out and you're doing that, that kind of like bottom of the barrel type stuff, like at some point are you starting to like move up some type of like ladder, you know what I mean, where you're not having to like cold call and you're doing a little bit different things? Like, how does that process go?
Right. So we did have a minimum of calls to hit a day. It was 120.
Wow.
So we're just busting
That's
out calls all day, and you're getting rejected probably 90% of the time easily. And definitely more than 90% actually. But
was there at any point where you're like, man, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I had to like walk away from my desktop and just like reevaluate my career choice. I'm like, I really hope this isn't what being a loan officer is all about.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, that's a lot of calls.
It's burnout and a lot of cold calling. I mean, and they're pretty, considering that we are the loan servicer, they're warm leads, but it's not a fun job
and this
being
is
a cold caller.
Every day you're required to make that many calls?
Correct.
How are they keeping track of this?
Well, the problem is, like, I'd be talking to people that I'd already reached out to 3 times throughout the whole week.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's good to hear from you again. And they're like, please get me off of this call list right now. I'm like, oh, well, we're your loan servicer. We're technically allowed to call you just to talk over your loan. But yeah, once they got put on a do not call list, then we were no longer allowed to call.
But would they track it through a CRM or something? How would they track it?
The leads were auto-generated. So I'd just be clicking next and then busting out the call.
So I have a personal question about this.
Yes.
When you get calls like this, how do you get them to put you on your do not call list?
It's actually a lot simpler.
Asking for a friend.
So,
for me.
Right?
Yeah.
All you really have to do is tell them, I would no longer like to be called.
Yeah.
Please put me on the do not call list. And if you continue to call me, I will report you guys.
Wow. Okay. So you basically, it forces you to pick up the phone.
Right.
Because if you, all right, so I'm just going to say, so we applied for this mortgage.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. It must have been a minute after you click send.
Yep.
And my phone just started ringing. And I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, and I'm not kidding you. Like 20 calls in like 15 minutes. Maybe 20.
Wow.
It was insane.
That's a lot.
It was insane.
That's a lot.
It's died off because I'm assuming they're rotating through like, you know what I mean? But I was like, and I remember telling him, I was like, can you just please put me on like I didn't know that's what it was called. I was like, can you please put me on like a do not call list or something? But now I'm going to pick it up every time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell them, please put me on the do not call list. If you don't do that, I'm going to report you.
Right.
Yeah,
Is that what I need to say?
Well,
this is awesome.
There's actually a link that I can send you guys.
Please.
And I typically do this for my clients that are already homeowners. It's called an opt-out.
Oh, that's
pre-screen.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can opt out of this, and then as long as the loan officer doesn't pull your credit for 7 days after you've opted out, you will not get bombarded with those calls.
We're going to have to talk about this before you leave.
Yes. I can send you the link so you guys can stop getting called.
This might be another episode. Like it'd probably go viral if I can get, like how to get on the do not call list.
Yeah, right.
But anyway,
make it the
seriously,
title.
it's like I'm like, yeah, this actually would be a good episode.
So I was initially one of those cold callers just reaching out to these people, but
and I told the guy, I was like, hey, I know you're doing your job. I'm not trying to be a jerk, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But can you just not call anymore?
That's the best, honestly, the best response.
Yeah.
You can.
Because I know that they're doing their job. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like be a jerk to somebody.
Yeah, but I mean, after 20 calls,
it was ridiculous.
Right.
So you get your cold calling, and then what's the next step? Like, what is next as a loan officer?
I knew I didn't want to be there forever. And then there, like, not to go too much into depth, but there was loan programs that we were being forced to push.
Oh, okay.
That weren't necessarily what was best for the client. And, that didn't necessarily sit right with me.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to be at this company.
Yeah.
And when I talked to my sales manager about it, he was like, well, this is more of a convenient loan for them rather than, going to a conventional loan and dropping off their mortgage insurance. So after all that, I was like, I need to get the heck out of this company. And I reached back out to My family friend who was working for Jerry at the time connected me with the owner of VIP Mortgage, and he told me to actually meet with a different loan officer who is now my mentor, cool. Rob Purvis.
How long ago was this?
This is 2020. I'd been at the big corporation company for 3 or 4 months. Did like 15, 20 loans in that time, and I was like, I need to get the heck out of here.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you're local.
Now I'm local. Get paid a lot more on the commission rather than it all going towards the big corporation. But yeah, and I get to, so my mentor, he doesn't produce as much as Jerry does, but he is top 200 in the country.
That's amazing.
He's really good, and he also gives the time to mentor me.
Yeah.
So
love him.
It's been really nice.
I sold cars for a while, so and I remember like my boss at the time, like people would come in looking for, and I'm telling you this because your loan story is exactly the same. They'd be like, hey, I want a Camaro, you know what I mean? And I'm just making this up, but, and then, well, we don't have any Camaros, or there would be one there, you know what I mean? And then I'd be like, well, selling that. And I'd be like, that's not what they want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go out there and sell that to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there were a couple of times when I'd walk out and I'd be like, dude, just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? I would tell them to leave because I was like, I'm not going to sell you what you don't want.
Right.
Dang.
I mean, I'm just not doing it. You know what I mean? And it was, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not that. It just wasn't for me.
Dang, yeah. I needed you as a car salesman. Mine did me dirty.
You got buried upside down in it and all that stuff.
I walked in wanting one thing. I left with another. Yeah. How did that happen so quick?
And I think if you're like a local salesman and this is your brand and your reputation, you got to definitely do what's best for the client.
Well, that was kind of the thing. It was like the mentality was like, we got to hit a home run in every single one. But it's like, okay, well, if you're hitting home runs all the time, guess what? When these people come back, they're going to be upside down on their cars.
Oh my gosh,
so you should be thinking more volume.
Yeah.
But it was in a military town. There's a lot of people rotating through, so you're not really going to have a lot of those people coming back.
Yeah. Where was it?
Sierra Vista.
Oh, in Sierra Vista, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but still, like the mindset should be, you know what I mean? Serve the customer and give them a good deal, you know what I mean? Versus like trying to hit a home run every time.
Yes. I think that's our number one priority and why we work so well together. Because there are so many sharks in our industry. And I think both of us just don't align with that. We're like, do we even want to like get to that point? Yeah. Because I feel like to get to that point, you have to be a shark. And I don't know. We're still debating that if that's true or not. But
I mean, it's good that it's nice to hear that you're already thinking that way because there is going to be a point. You know what I mean? In whatever industry.
Yes,
I mean, where it's like, all right, well, I'm not trying to like gain off of somebody else's expense necessarily. You know,
right.
If you get hired, you're beating somebody out, but it's like I'm not trying to step on somebody to try to get to where I want to be. You know what I mean? And some people are willing to do that.
Exactly. Many people
that's
are.
On them, but it's like I'm not one of them. You know what I mean?
Many successful people are that way.
Yeah.
And like both of us talk about it all the time. We're like, I don't know if we want to do that.
Right. Yeah,
or
we have that conversation.
Like many people in this industry talk about like getting to the point where you can hire on so many people where you don't even have to like do your job.
Yeah.
And I feel like that loses your touch with your clients. Mm-hmm. Like it's not the same anymore at that point. And I think that's the huge difference between big loan officers or big realtors is that they don't even know the person. They never even met them. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think that's like
so
our
that's
biggest.
That's an interesting point, because I can see that, like, I could see like how, and I'm not saying that this isn't true in the loan business, but that's why I'm bringing this up for you, to ask you, Dillon. So like as a real estate agent, you know what I mean? Like you're really building a brand of yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
You are the
because
brand.
you are there in someone's face all the time. And
exactly.
They're, they want Zarina to represent them for a variety of reasons, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Versus like you will see somebody potentially at some point, or maybe even not, because a lot of things are just done online and things like that.
Right.
But I would imagine that there still is like a brand in the sense that like, hey, I really got a good deal with Dillon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like talk about that a little bit.
So I do think it's pretty hard to brand yourself as a loan officer because you have your company kind of behind you the whole time. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely I think the most rewarding part of the job is creating those relationships with the clients and just being able to be there with them. I know, like with us, whenever we're helping buyers, we'll do a consultation together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And those are a lot of fun.
Consultation together to get both perspectives right up front. So they know exactly what they're getting into. I think your biggest quality, sorry, don't mean to chime in, but
No, you're good. Keep going.
your biggest quality is just how personable you are.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
He's
And
very
that's a huge
personable.
thing.
That is
For
Yes. Yeah, like his clients, they're not just clients, they're people that like the person that he is. And to get that over the phone, I think is
huge.
crazy. Yeah, because I like to be in front of people and I'm able to open up that way, but somehow he's able to do it over the phone. I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Probably like
Very personable.
half of my clientele I don't really get to meet in person. But you can develop a relationship over the phone.
But that is, that's still a brand in the sense that it might not be a face all the time, but
Right.
people remember being treated well. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where they feel that sincerity of like, oh man, Dillon really
Exactly.
cares about like
Right.
what's happening here. He's not just selling us the latest and greatest,
Oh my gosh.
jumbo loan or whatever, you know what I
Exactly.
mean, or something like that.
Yeah, I
Right.
think your honesty is like the biggest thing for
That's
you.
huge, man.
Yeah.
You should tell the story real quick about that client that left and then came back.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's hear the story.
So, we had a client, and essentially, they were asking, what's the rate today?
Yeah.
And I always quote my rates without any discount points.
Okay.
And, I'm pretty thorough about it. Let them know, hey, make sure if you're shopping around, make sure you are getting quotes without discount points. Of
'Cause
course,
they'll sneak them in there. Yeah.
right. No, a lot of loan officers will sneak discount points into, the loan, and then you're going to get blindsided with an extra $4,000 at the end of once you get your closing disclosure, and you're like, where the heck did this $4,000 come from? Long story short,
Yeah.
they left me. They went and found the lower rate, and probably it was 2 weeks before the close of escrow. They came back and they're like, hey, this guy is charging an extra $6,000. He had not disclosed that to me. I don't even have the funds to come up with that. He's like, can you help me out again? And, the market had shifted a little bit, so I was able to get them a lower rate, get them over. We closed within 14 days and save them about $5,000 in costs.
That's a big deal, man.
So
That's a good one.
they were extremely happy, got great reviews, and yeah, it was actually pretty fun.
Was it like, hey, I'm sorry that we left you?
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I was just
think-
trying to be like, oh, no worries. Like,
That's
Yeah,
cool.
right. I think for every industry, it's not always best to go with the person that is quoting the cheapest.
Sure.
Like I'm a strong believer in you get what you pay for.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as like service. So
right. You don't really hear that with loans, though.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
nobody's encouraging you to take the higher rate.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people aren't thinking like long term, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's
Exactly.
like, it's all about right now. I need to make a lot of money
Instant
now. You know what I mean?
gratification.
And it's like that long term perspective. It's like, like if you want people coming back, like you want this person to say, hey, Dillon did a great job. Zarina was freaking amazing.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Because that word of mouth, it is a lot. And a lot
It's
of
your
times
brand.
it's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's how you build your brand for sure.
So talk about you building your brand. Like, how
Yeah.
do you view that? You know what I mean? Like, what is that to you?
Yeah. I mean, my brand I've worked on it a lot over the years. I think I've learned so much just because I got thrown into this industry being so young. So it was kind of like I got thrown into it and I just had to figure it out. So I didn't know what my brand was. I think I just honestly figured it out within the last year. I had a really great year last year. I closed 18 homes, which was pretty good for like interest rates and all of that.
Yeah,
So
Right.
I learned so much and I was really able to build my relationships with the clients and create that referral business, which that's the end goal in this industry is to just have your business coming from referrals. That way you don't have to be out doing all the hard work, open houses, all of that other more difficult lead gen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just coming to fruition now. And I think we're both working on our brand, developing our brand more in social media. And I think social media has been one of the biggest contributors to my brand.
Yeah.
Ever since I started. So
Social media being like Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
And referrals being like you have a customer, you sold their house. Oh my gosh. And, like I have, and that person has a friend and they're like, hey, you should talk to Zarina. And then,
exactly.
Okay.
That and also my sphere. So just friends and family as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just them referring me, their friends and all that stuff.
How difficult was it when you first started? Like, where did you start first?
Yeah, so I started with a smaller company, and I mean, it was a really hot market, so it was very easy for me. But I didn't start as a producing agent. I started as a transaction coordinator, so I was doing all the paperwork. If I'm being honest, none of the paperwork made sense to me, and I got no training. There was not a training program in real estate. Many teams, or there's no training program, honestly, unless you get on a good team. Like, I definitely ask, do you guys have a training program? Because the one I went on didn't have one, and he just threw me in there. And it was a lot of trying things and learning it didn't work, and just trying my best, and my boss calling me, telling me I did it wrong. So it was just a lot of that. That's how I learned. And I think the guy that I was with at the time was so hard on me.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It was like I wasn't even allowed to ask questions.
Wow.
If I asked questions, it was like, that was the stupidest question I've ever heard. Don't ever ask me that again. So I learned very quickly. And I was 18 at the time, and him being so hard on me of every little thing that I did, I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do.
Wow.
And I tried leaving him. I tried leaving him many times, but he told me, he was like, if you can't handle this, then you cannot be in real estate.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's
whoa,
terrible.
Of course, as like a kid, I was like, no, I'm gonna fight through this, because I was in front of a lot of clients and I did enjoy the idea of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. And honestly, he did pay me good. So that was one thing where I was like, okay, he did pay me good. I can go through a little bit of this, but at the end of the day, I was with him for 1 year and I was like, this is not worth it.
So when you say you were, I don't remember the terms, transactions.
Transaction coordinator. Yeah, just paperwork.
Okay, so after you get your license, you could get in a situation where you're a transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
Is that typical?
No, it's not typical, but I think it's a great route.
Okay.
Because you learn the back end of real estate. So that's something that I have over many other agents in the industry, is that I know all of the paperwork, like the back of my hand. So, and it's because I was doing it. And many agents, they hire the transaction coordinator, so they have no idea what's on the documents. No idea. And when I left the team, I told my boss at the time, I'm like, hey, I will train every agent to learn how to do this paperwork, because when I'm gone, they're going to have no idea.
Yeah.
So, this
is really cool. I didn't even know anything about this. So you get anybody that's getting their real estate license, they could become a transaction coordinator. They could become, they are a real estate agent, which then you could go work for. So this is where it kind of gets a little gray for me. Like you can go work for like a broker. Yeah. Or so like, what are the options there?
Your options, you do have to hang your license with a broker. Okay. No matter what. So the first step is going to be finding which broker you like. And my options were, I think at the time, where were we? We were with a smaller brokerage, but Realty Executives, Long Realty, and Coldwell have a really good name here in Tucson, as well as Real Broker. Real is like a smaller company, but it's coming up. They have to pick, not only do they have to pick their brokerage, but you have to decide, do I want to join a team or do I want to go solo? Do I want to be a solo agent and pay for all my marketing, but also get all of my commission? Or do I want to join a team, give up some of my commission, they cover all the marketing, maybe even give you some lead gen sources, pay for leads.
Okay.
Yeah, so just weigh out the options. I recommend 100% to start on a team if you're just starting.
So when you say go solo, that has to be under a broker. Like when you get your license, you can't be like, all right, I'm starting Zarina's real estate.
No.
Okay.
No. It has to be under a broker. And I believe
Interesting.
you, you can start your own brokerage, but not until 3 years of being an active real estate agent.
Okay.
You can apply for your broker's license.
I see.
Take the exam, and that's just another license that you can have. And then you can open your own brokerage if that's something that you want to do. But that's a lot of liability, and that's why a lot of people don't do it.
Interesting. So the route is going to be either like the transactional route to learn the back end, which sounds like a really good option, but you're going to have to work under a broker of some way. And then it's going to be, are you going to be solo or are you going to be part of a team?
Exactly.
Now talk about the solo versus part of a team, if you know.
Yeah. So the difference is being a part of a team, like I said, it's so important to understand what they're providing for you and commission splits. At the end of the day, I don't think commission splits are everything because like my team, they are so supportive. And I think there's just so much more you can get out of a team than just commission. A lot of people try to advertise that.
Okay.
So a good support system, ask how long the agents have been there because many teams have quick turnaround times. Agents are leaving all the time. But yeah, so they hopefully offers some sort of leads to keep you also steady in real estate because it's easy to close a bunch of deals in 1 month and then go months without pay because we don't have base pay.
I was just going to ask, if you work with a team, the money that you make is still commission. It just might be less because some of the money's going to the team.
Exactly.
But they're not paying you anything. It's not like if you're like a waiter.
No base pay.
Wow.
No base pay. So it's all commission. If you don't have a home under contract, you're unemployed.
Okay.
You don't have any income coming in.
Wow. Well, there's a lot right there that
it's stressful for sure.
So
for many people.
What would you already stated that you think it would be a good idea for somebody to go that transactional route to learn. Now, when you were doing that guy was paying you well. Is that typical to be being paid like a salary at that point, or is it kind of based on the amount of deals?
It's all per transaction.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to get steady pay because you have multiple agents that you're handling all the paperwork. So I don't think you'll ever go a month without pay just because there's multiple agents sending you business.
And is it a percentage? Is it like a 0.25 or something like that?
Typically, transaction coordinators charge around $400 per transaction.
Okay. So that's a really cool thing it's nice to know that if you go, you're going to have to go with a broker if you're going that route, and you're going to either be solo or on a team, and you're probably going to starve for a while.
Yes, that first 6 months to a year is rough.
Are there things that you're learning on the transactional side of things? You're learning the back end, but are you also starting to establish kind of like you're in with clients or something like that where you're not going to be... So I'm looking at from two perspectives. I go the transactional route. I'm learning the back end.
Yeah.
I haven't had any real clients or anything like that yet.
Right.
But if I go this route, I still don't have any clients. Is there another benefit aside from learning the back end to going this way? Like you're building rapport with loan officers or other agents. Hey, I know Zarina, where the referrals might become a bigger part. You know what I mean? Versus over here where it's I'm just new and I don't know anything. Right. Over here, I know the back end and I've started to establish this relationship.
Right.
And when I go solo or with a team, I'm going to be better off. Do you think?
That's a tough one. I think as a transaction coordinator, honestly, you're not very known.
Okay.
So you're not very known. I don't think if someone asked me, should I start as a transaction coordinator or should I join a team? If they're serious about real estate, I think they should go into it full time on a team.
Okay.
I think transaction coordinator, it's good, but it's steady pay.
Yeah.
But there's not much room for growth unless you've made that upfront clear with your team. Hey, I'm going to start as a transaction coordinator, or say most of the time they need a transaction coordinator. So you can't just start as one. There has to be an open position for somebody to do paperwork. It's like an assistant.
Okay.
So, if you find a team that does want a transaction coordinator and you already talked with them up front, I'm going to be a transaction coordinator for 6 months, learn the paperwork, and then start as a full-time agent.
Yeah.
That's a good route. But awesome. I honestly would say just if you're going to take real estate seriously, because I don't think people should be doing this part-time.
Yeah.
Just because it's so much more than that. Like, you have to be in the know with all the market stats. And to be successful, you can't be part-time in this industry.
Yeah.
You can't. It's impossible.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll add to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transaction coordinators that make really good money too.
Yeah.
And essentially a transaction coordinator's client is the real estate agent that they're working under.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
It's like
for example,
its own thing. Some
it's
people do
interesting.
that
I
for the
never
rest
heard
of
of their life.
It's really cool.
your TC, she works for probably like 30, 40 different agents.
Yeah,
she's
she
just
works
doing the
for
back-
different teams,
Yeah.
different agents. So imagine how many files she's getting that she's getting paid.
Sounds like a lot.
$400 per
Every time.
Yeah, per file.
And it's the part of real estate that, you know, people don't want to do either, the paperwork
right?
side.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, $400 a day would add up. You do 2 or 3 of those each day. That adds up even faster.
Right?
exactly.
It's a good business.
Yeah. And also, I mean, as a transaction coordinator, what sucks that I've experienced, you do take the risk of doing all the paperwork for a file and then it falling through.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So that's also another
Yeah.
thing. I mean, as an agent, you experience that too. As a lender, you put in all the work and it falls through.
Yep.
So it's something that all of us are kind of like prepared for. Like, do not count. What did they say? Don't count your chickens. or
Until they
whatever.
hatch.
Yeah, so- yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count your
your chickens.
commission check until,
Yeah.
until
Right,
like
exactly.
6 months after.
Yeah.
So, like Dillon, then, you work very closely with real estate agents and brokers. Is that right?
Correct.
So let's talk about that. Like, how does that relationship? How do you develop it, and what does it look like? You know what I mean? Is it like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
So that was something I didn't really comprehend until probably a year and a half into my job. I didn't understand that leads were going to be coming from realtors.
Yeah. Like they were your clients. in
Yeah,
a way.
realtors
They
were
are your
also
clients.
our clients.
Okay.
Like, you have to be trusted by them. You have to be able to communicate, and essentially you got to go and earn realtors' business. But yeah, when I first got in, it was 2020. Rates were in the 2s. You know, so I wasn't really too focused on the purchase side of business.
Yeah.
I was just going after refinances left and right.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's something that's not in your job description either. Like, they don't tell you that you should go talk to realtors, right? Like, it's mainly just focused on the client.
when I got hired on, they did tell me like purchases should be the entree of your business, and refis are just like gravy on the side. So you got to continue to focus on the purchases.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, like, your pipeline of refinances won't be there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it took me about a year and a half to comprehend that and grasp, like, okay, realtors are where I'm going to get my business from.
And when did that moment happen? Like, where did you start to see that? Was it because the refinances are starting to die off?
That's exactly what happened. So
Okay.
it was like April of 2022, and rates shot up to 4%.
Oh, okay.
And the refinance business was essentially wiped out within a matter of 3 months. So I was just a little bit dry, and I'm like, oh crap, I need to go after purchases now. Like, there's no more, hey, do you want to save $200 on your payment?
Right.
Like, that was gone. So had to make a quick adjustment and start going after realtors business.
So how do you do that? Like, so how do you transition, or how does anybody, that's wanting to be a loan officer, like at some point you're going to have to start establishing relationships with realtors.
Right.
How do you do that?
It's kind of tough. Having a mentor, and this is kind of like getting into that team aspect. If you have a team lead that is very well connected, that was a part of like working with Rob. He put me in a lot of, a lot of doors. He opened a lot of doors up for me to go and network and meet with other agents who knew who Rob was. They knew what his team could do. And then it was just a matter of, okay, well, let me see what Dillon can do as well.
Lots of networking events.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of networking. And really, it's being in front of the agents is how you can get their business.
Yeah, like taking people out.
I was just going to
Yeah.
ask, are you doing like lunches and
Yeah.
things like that? And,
Lunches, like consultations even, just
Yeah.
working on growing both businesses together.
And what's happening like during like a lunch or something like that? Is it like, hey, these are the kind of things that I can offer, anybody that's like looking to purchase a home through your company or something like that, I have this new program or, like, how's that go?
And you got to realize realtors are getting invited out to lunches probably once a week by other loan officers. And I will say, like, there's not much loyalty in the industry, but
he always says that.
Your realtors might cheat on you here and there, but as long as they come back, every few months, then you got a good realtor.
So this is really interesting. So
they might cheat on you.
So the loan officers are kind of hunting down realtors that I'm assuming they want them to be very successful.
Right.
And those are the ones that are being pursued, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And are you like, what have you started to see about this? Dylan's breathing down your neck all the time.
Where's that lead at?
No.
Like as far as lenders in my perspective, yeah, I mean, it's crazy because in my shoes, I told him I didn't realize how important it was to have a loyal relationship with your lender.
Interesting, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it has changed my business drastically. And I think it's just shown in the numbers, like my year last year. Because before, I would honestly just send business to the last person that texted me.
Okay.
The last person that invited me to lunch or whatever. I'd be like, hey, you want this lead? I didn't take it that seriously.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need somebody that is good at their job. I'll just send it to you. But no, like, I think our dynamic has grown both of our businesses like crazy. So I definitely recommend, if you're in the real estate industry, focus on nurturing your relationships. That's with everybody, lenders, escrow officers, like the title companies, anybody that can help your business grow in some way. Find loyal relationships.
Right.
Awesome. Now, like, let's go back to, like, you're developing these relationships. You're taking people out to lunch. You're going to networking. And at some point, this starts to pay off.
Right.
And how does that go? Like, what do you notice?
You start to develop relationships with realtors, and then they start to consistently send you leads. And what's crazy is, even the quality of leads, you might need to, like the conversion. What I've noticed is realtors will send a lead that isn't necessarily a good one.
Okay.
Just to kind of test the waters and see what you can do.
Interesting.
It might even be a lead that already got denied by another lender.
Wow.
Like, hey, can you see what you can do for them?
Yeah.
And every now and again, you can, like, step up to the plate and prove yourself.
Wow.
There might be some different ways to rebuild the credit to get a client qualified. Maybe even as drastic as switching up the loan terms from a 30-year to a 20-year, and you'll get an automated approval. So just being a little bit more creative on the financing side.
Yeah.
And then the realtor is going to see that, and they're like, hey, this loan officer is able to, get this client qualified, get their credit up, get them where they need to be to purchase. And, there's a lot of value in that. But at the same time, if they send a few leads over and you're not converting on them, they might be like, all right, let me just stop sending them business and work with the person who is able to convert.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of lenders, too, that as soon as they see, like, it's not a quality lead, they won't even respond.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate.
So.
Yeah.
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 So there was something you said earlier, and I forgot to ask about this. It was regarding, like, was it called down points? What was it?
Discount points.
Discount points. Yeah. Okay, explain that real quick.
So discount points, it's fees associated with buying down the interest rate.
Okay.
The way interest rates work, you have a par rate where you're making your full commission. And then once you start to go below par, then you start cutting into your commission. And then once you go below a certain point, there's like not even any money in the deal.
Wow.
Typically, like a quarter of a rate, you might lose all of your commission just going below 0.25%.
Wow.
So if that happens, that's when you're like, all right, I need to start charging discount points if I want to make money. Or in the client's perspective, if they want to buy their rate down, as much as 0.5%, you know, it's probably going to cost a full point, maybe even a little bit more. And so when I say a full point, I just mean 1% of whatever the loan amount is.
Okay.
To bring your interest rate down by a certain percentage.
Okay. And that discount point that would be like, it could be anything like 0.25 or something like that. And how are they hiding that where you don't notice it and you're paying for it later on? Like the customer did, like, hey man, that was $6,000. You're like, how did that happen?
Right. One way to hide it is to float the loan. If you don't lock it, and this happens all the time. Like, you could be floating a loan and you see the market just shift in the opposite direction. You see rates go up and you're like, hey, if you want to still get that same rate I was quoting you, it's going to cost, you know, $3,000 or 0.5% of the loan amount. So that's, and you won't get notified about it until the lender locks in the rate.
So are they kind of like gambling on the variances?
On the market conditions.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. All right. I have it in my head, but I'm trying to think of like an example. So like the rate is currently 6%, and you've got somebody, you're like, hey, you know, I can do this at 6%.
Right.
But the rate goes up to, so from the loan offer's perspective, if it goes up, that could work in their favor. Or if it goes down.
So it's the opposite. If the interest rate goes down, and let's say the client is happy with the 6, they could be betting on making a little bit more money on the commission.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I often do, I always say, don't get greedy. Let's just lock in with what we have.
Yeah.
And then there is always like a renegotiation policy. A lot of lenders are able to try and renegotiate the rate if interest rates were to come down quite a bit.
And you can check that online every day, like what the rate is?
Yeah,
now,
you can check that.
Is that standard for, like, you know what I mean? So if the rate is like 6%, you know, you check it online, that's kind of where everybody is starting. Technically, or no?
Yeah, I mean, it's so case by case. Each
depending
loan
on credit and stuff.
Each loan looks at the different risk factors of each client.
I see.
Credit score, debt to income ratio. You know, they look at a lot of different factors to determine what the par rate would be for that very client.
Oh, okay. So, but it'll always be based off what the rate is, like, currently in the market or something like
correct.
that?
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's based off of mortgage-backed securities.
Okay.
Which ultimately are like 2.5% above 10-year treasuries.
And I don't know if I'm getting into like classified stuff, but like, is there like a chart, like a table, like, hey, somebody's 780 and they got a debt to income ratio of like 40% or something, you know what I mean? And that's like,
it gets pretty layered. So there's these things called loan level price adjustments. And based on like the different risk factors, think of it like a matrix grid. If you fall into this bucket, if your credit's like at 640, your debt to income's above a certain ratio, you're going to be getting hit with, you know, one of these higher rates. Like, it'll add a percentage to whatever the base of the loan amount is, or the loan interest rate is.
It's a loan level price adjustment?
Yeah.
All right, this is all for me right now.
LLPAs.
No.
Right?
And what's even more interesting is there is a way to avoid all loan level price adjustments and just get the base rate. That's being below 80% of the area median income.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why?
That was kind of passed by, the government to help lower income families purchase, getting a little bit of a discounted rate.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and I think this happened a couple years back where they were adding loan level price adjustments to people that were above the area median income.
So what are some pros of being a loan officer?
The money's good.
Money's good.
The relationships are great. It's a very demanding job, but it's also very rewarding.
Demanding in the sense that long hours or what makes it demanding?
There's just a lot of people that you end up working for.
Okay.
Like, I initially went into the position trying to become, my own boss, have my own business. And then I realized each one of my like agents, each one of my clients is essentially my boss.
Okay.
Like they're paying me to do the job. So then I found out, you know, I'm not just going to have one corporate boss. I'm going to have like 40 bosses at once, which could get a little demanding here and there.
How long did it take for you to get to the point where you're like, the money's good?
First year, like right out the gate.
Both of us first year were like, this is the greatest thing ever.
The money was flashed in our face.
How do you think that impacted your, you know, because there's two, you know, it's like, all right, market sucks. I got in when the market sucks. I'm struggling. Then I finally get there versus, man, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Market takes a dive. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, what has it been for you? Like, are you like, yeah, this is good. I'm glad it happened that way. Or like, eh.
I'm glad I'm a loan officer. I'll say that. I kind of came in with, I don't know, it was like the glory days of real estate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of people made a lot of money during that time just because real estate was so hot.
Yeah.
Interest rates, debt is so low. People are doing refinances and purchasing, you know, houses that were well above their means just a couple of years back.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a glory days. You know, I got into the industry at 21 and I got shown a lot of money, and then by age 23, you know, I was making half as much as I had made in, you know, as a 21-year-old.
And what was that like?
That was brutal. That was pretty hard, like sucker punch.
Same.
Yeah, because, you know, we saw these rates in the twos, and then by October of 2022, it was already at 7%.
Oh, that's, I mean, yeah.
So... at one point,
like a slap in the face.
I was like, I don't even know if I want to go to work today. Like,
wow.
So it's kind of pointless with these rates.
Wow.
But, you know, you got to adjust. And
just going to take today off.
Yeah.
So what about you, Zarina? Like, let's talk about like pros of being a real estate agent.
Okay. Pros, I would say flexible schedule. My favorite thing. And no cap on your income. You can make as much as you want. And as far as, I mean, I think the flexibility and the no cap, they're probably the best things about the job. And also the people that you meet. And I'd say like the types of people that you meet. It's just so crazy. Like you would never expect to meet the people that you do. And then some of them you become great friends with.
That's pretty cool.
So we have clients that we celebrate birthdays with. We go to dinner with them. So cool. It's like you really, it's changed my life for sure. Completely.
All right. Cons.
Yeah. So I actually brought a list. No, I'm just kidding. Cons, there's no base pay.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that people struggle with. Also, cons, there are difficult clients that you'll come across that make it really hard to do your job. But I think that's something that you deal with in any industry.
What would be an example of a difficult situation with a client?
We actually just had one on our team. We got a full price offer on a listing, and he didn't want to take it. He was like, no.
Full price, like the asking price?
Yeah. Full asking price, yeah. Wow. And he was just like, nope, if I got this offer, I think I can get a better one.
Were there concessions on that?
So they came above asking.
Oh, wow.
They were above asking to compensate for the closing costs, but he was netting exactly the asking price.
Wow.
But it went above asking. And he was like, nope, I'm not going to take that. So I think as a real estate agent, like trying to help your clients understand certain things and like certain clients that are very stuck in their ways, and they're not open to taking an expert's advice.
Yeah.
It's hard that way. It is hard.
Does the flexibility, like, because like you get to set your own hours, but I would imagine that means that there might be
the cons to that as well.
Yeah, like, well, you might get a call at like 8 o'clock or, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. And I think, so when I first started out, I was taking calls at any given moment. Like I would be sitting down with my family at dinner and I'd just leave and go take a call. And that would happen so often.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely a conversation you have to have with your partner, with your family, especially if you're starting out. I think in any industry, like if you really want to focus on something and be successful, they have to understand that you have to lock in for however many months. Eventually to get to the point where I am now, where I try to set my schedule. And I don't answer calls if I'm at something that's a bigger priority to me. So, you know, eventually that's the end goal, to be able to make your own schedule and have clients respect your schedule and work around your schedule. And many clients respect that. So,
Dillon, we do cons?
I think we touched on it a little bit.
Let's talk a little bit more about cons.
Yes.
Go ahead. Big cons, not little
big
ones.
Cons.
Yes, big cons.
Loyalty. Yeah, that was a good one, babe. No, it's definitely a tough industry at times. It can play, it'll play a toll on your mental health if you're constantly comparing yourself to, your peers and
so
seeing
big.
And this is like all the numbers get posted, so we're able to track each and every agent and loan officer's numbers.
Where does it get posted at?
So there's certain softwares. Right? I do think you have to have your license in order to have access to the software. But once you have access to the software, you can track other loan officers. You can track other realtors, see if they're cheating on you, so to speak.
Cheating on
I could see how that would make things really competitive potentially.
Or if I work with a real estate agent on the other side and they're being very catty with me, I'm like, I'm going to look up and see how much business they're doing.
Yeah, right? And it's usually like...
Why do you have room
the 30-year veteran who did 4 deals last year, that's just being a total...
Or 4 years in the last... 4 deals in the last 10 years. I'm like, okay.
Is it often that you'll have deals fall through, like, at the last minute? Or, let me ask it a different way. What is the percentage of deals that close versus... You know what I mean? Like, you have, like, a pot, and, like, of that pot, is it 50%? You know what I mean? Or
Right. I would say... like in terms of leads, probably 5 out of every, and this is from a loan officer perspective,
different perspective,
5 to 10 out of every 100 leads close.
Wow.
And that there's the other 90 are still nurturing. You're trying to get them to close eventually.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about if you go under contract and you close? Or are you saying when you meet somebody?
Both of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
both.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I would say, and then like once you do have a client that's ready to go buy,
I see. Okay.
And they go under contract, I'd say 85-90% of the time,
pretty good then.
They're going to close.
85%. That's perfect.
Really good then.
Yeah.
And then there's inspections that'll determine whether the property's good or not. If they're going to cancel, I'd say like 90% of deals falling apart happen during inspection period.
And how does it fall apart at that point? Like, what would be an example? Like, or would that be like, you want to talk about that, Zarina?
Most of the time, it's going to be inspections. I can try to prepare my client for as much as possible, but there are things that the home inspector looks at that I don't.
Yeah.
And say there's just like a major, what is it called? A major repair that we found, and we're not able to come to a meeting of the minds with the seller. And so it's just better for them to walk away.
So would the example be like poly piping, and it's like, hey, this thing, you know what I mean? Like,
that's a good example.
Like this, the buyer wants a repipe.
Yeah.
And like, then there's like hey, we're going to have to like adjust the price.
Exactly.
Or something like that. Is that kind of like...
So we either figure out repairs to be done or we can adjust the price. Some of the repairs have to be done in order to pass by the appraisal. By the appraiser. So there are some things... I think when you've been in the industry long enough as a realtor, there are things like right when you walk into a home, you're like, okay, that's going to get called out.
Yeah.
It's easier to prepare your clients for that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I mean, to avoid all those cancellations, it's just all preparation. But then again, you can prepare your clients as much as possible, and some sellers just don't want to budge.
Right.
And then another one is the appraisal. If it comes in low and the sellers don't want to move the price, then just back out.
I can't remember who I was talking to, somebody, but like, so like if if there needs to be an appraisal done, which it would be every single time, but
Right.
is it like there's a pool of appraisers and then it's randomly selected? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
not like you can say, hey, I
solve
want
that.
It has to get ordered through the lender.
Okay.
That's why, like, cash deals, you don't need an appraiser. You're willing to pay up front. But the appraisal is in place to protect the bank's, loan that they're giving out to the borrower. And then it's also in place to protect the borrower from going underwater, 6 months to a year after you just bought an expensive home.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, there is a panel. I think for like VIP mortgage, we have about 15 appraisers in Pima County. And it kind of is like randomly selected based on, they'll look at who just picked up the last appraisal and they'll round robin to the next.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, well, if you have like, because I don't know much about, buying and selling houses. And so it's like, like what if, one person's like got the appraiser and they want it to be higher and then the other person's got an
Right.
appraiser and they want it to be lower, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right. No, and that happens all the time. Like some
Yeah.
appraisers will list the value very low. Some will do the opposite, and like it's funny because we're always like, "Who's the appraiser?"
Oh,
Because
wow. So this is like a real thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we're not allowed to talk to them. That's
Yeah.
you're not allowed to talk
I'm
to
not
them.
allowed to talk
I
to
can
them.
talk to them, but they're not going to care what I have to say. Like a lot of times
appraiser's
we're like
gonna
trying to
do
talk to them over the phone,
whatever
like
they want.
don't miss this.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out this
Yeah.
part of the house.
That's funny.
But they don't care at the end of the day. They're just going to put whatever they want. And they could literally be having a bad day and just put whatever they want.
All right, so let's talk longer term outlook. Like, where
Yeah.
do you want to go? Where do you see yourself?
Ooh, this is
here
a
we
good
go.
one. Yeah, this is where do you see yourself?
I'll let you answer first. Let me
we'll get
think.
to Dillon. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. It's in the air for sure. I'm on a team right now, obviously.
Yeah.
So I do want to grow with them. I plan to grow with them. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll go off on my own as a solo agent, possibly create my own team. But I don't know if I want to do that yet. But some year in the future, I want to go off on my own.
I would imagine that, like, it feels a little odd to say that when you're working for somebody, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But everybody has an aspiration.
Exactly.
And the people that you're working for
Exactly.
at some point had that same aspiration and should
That's
be
a
able
great point.
and should be able to realize
Right.
that, like, and I remember hearing this somewhere and I don't remember where it was. I was like, that makes sense. It's like, as like if I were a boss, I would be expecting the person that's working with me
Right.
to at some point excel beyond the point where I can
Exactly.
teach them and then move on. You know what I mean? Like,
And I think it shows that they did a good job too.
Yeah.
Right?
totally.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Dillon?
So there's like a couple routes I could take.
Right.
One of them is staying on underneath my mentor, and then eventually, whenever he's ready to retire, taking on his pipeline.
That would be pretty huge.
Which would be
It's
huge.
It's huge. There's like
yeah.
9,000 deals that he's done
Yeah.
in his pipeline. So, and that's not necessarily, all those 9,000 people that worked with him
Yeah,
would
for
want to
sure.
transfer over to me.
Yeah.
Right.
But a good amount of them very likely would be like, "Oh, you're Rob's protege." Like, hey, we might have even talked on a loan file.
Yeah.
5 years back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's one direction that you could go. I think my boss is probably like 5 years away from retiring.
Wow. That's not very long.
That's his goal, anyways, right?
Yeah,
We'll see if these rates come down. I think he just needs one more refi boom.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
gosh.
retire.
We're going to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's coming.
Definitely. And then the other route is kind of going down my own lane and, creating my own pipeline.
Yeah.
Your own brand.
Right.
Possibly.
My own separate brand.
We've both thought about creating our own brands and like maybe in the future together, like doing something together, but
Sure.
Right. Opening up a brokerage.
a brokerage. Yeah,
where
that'd be pretty cool.
I would be in charge of the financing side and we'd have like a team of realtors.
One stop shop.
It'd be really cool.
Is that common to have a situation like that where it's like a brokerage that's like all in one. You know what I mean? We have agents, we have
Right.
you know, lenders, or you know.
Not too common. I know like Long Realty, they have Prosperity Mortgage.
Okay.
Which is literally with like it's a subs. Yeah, it's
right.
it's within Long Realty, so you know there's a lot of incentive to just hand it off to the loan officer that works in
Interesting.
Prosperity.
Yeah.
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 How do you feel about your decision to become a loan officer at this point?
It's hard, but I'm very grateful that I decided to be one. And for a lot of different reasons, you know, you meet a lot of people, and that's how we ended up meeting each other. So,
That's cool.
you know, that I think one of your biggest pros was the people that you meet along the way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's very true. Like the relationships that you build are very strong, and they'll stick with you for the rest of your lifetime if you nurture them, right?
Yeah, for sure. And what about you, Zarina?
Did you say the biggest thing I'm grateful for, or?
How do you feel about your
how do I
decision
feel?
at this point?
I love it, and I think it's something that I'm gonna do for a long time. And it's so crazy how you find your passion in the weirdest ways. Like it's not something, I don't think it's something that you're just born to do. I think you find it in the weirdest ways.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
So I love it.
What did you have like did you have like a dream job that you had imagined, you know, like when you were younger, like
A doctor.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I think my mom just always wanted me to be a doctor. She's like, you're going to grow up, you're going to be a doctor. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a doctor one day.
Well, you know, there's really no limit. You could do that eventually at some point if you ever wanted to.
Exactly, yeah. And
Which is pretty cool.
That's also things that I feel like both of us have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
So we're always looking at different ways that we can better ourselves new skills that we can get. And I mean, possibly even, I don't know, maybe going back to school for fun, going a different route. Yeah.
Learning is cool.
It is, yeah.
And what about you, Dillon?
Yeah. You know, learning is fun. Not really. Not when you have to pay for it, but
right, yeah. But I mean, when you get to a certain point and it doesn't really matter to you, then like the cost doesn't matter. Then
Did you have like I wanted to be a baseball player or something like that?
That is exactly what
Was
I
it
wanted to
really?
be. That's
Okay.
crazy that you said that.
Whoa, that's a little.
I wanted to be a
Reading his
baseball
mind.
player. I even like gave a speech to my congregation at church.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like
what?
describe.
I
I don't
did
know if
not
I
know
told you
this.
this, but
Here we go.
I was like, I want to be a major league baseball player one day, and you know, baseball it's a really hard sport to get into, to break through, and at the end of the day, I retired from baseball in high school and just followed my education with Northern Arizona, but you know that. I don't know. I guess you don't necessarily get to do your dreams, especially with sports. Like that's a very difficult. If you're not talented enough, then
It's it's crazy.
hard work can only go so far.
Did you have the same thing too?
What's that?
Like,
you're
what was
into
your dream
sports
job?
and-
Oh, my dream was to be a fighter pilot. Yeah, that was like my dream job. Yeah.
You could have done that.
If I would have done it earlier, I ran I ended up painting cars. You know what I mean? And then like got me. So this is like a helmet that I painted right here. That's my,
Cool. Heck yeah.
But you get sidetracked. You know, you end up you fall into things. You know what I mean? I fell into painting cars. I was really artistic, and
That's cool.
I did that for a long time. And then and I saw these planes flying one day, and I was like, oh, dude, I always wanted to be a pilot. You know, so I was full steam ahead. Got my degree. Got my pilot's license.
Oh shoot!
Wow.
And then I got I was at the age where I only got like boarded like twice. You know what I mean? And then I didn't get picked. It was it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah. I feel that. I feel that with like baseball.
Yes.
You know what? And I was 18 years old, and you know that had been my dream since I was like 8 years old. And then the day came where I had to hang up the jersey, and I got to I saw my friends moving along and playing college baseball. And
Oh, dude, that would be so hard.
I even have a friend
He
who
has
made
friends
it
in college
to.
baseball.
He's playing for the
Really?
Pittsburgh Pirates right now,
man.
Nick Gonzalez, and
It's like you're super stoked for your friend.
Yeah.
But it's got to be like
it's a gut wrencher.
It
Like,
is, man.
like maybe if I'd gone a little bit harder, I could have achieved that. You know, it sits with you for
dude,
sure.
it does, man. Like
And
it does. You know, it's like it's just that one of those things it'll always be here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Right. No,
Wow.
you don't feel that way about being a doctor.
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Not really.
No, it definitely sits with you though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Honestly, if I were in either of your shoes, I probably feel the same way.
Yeah, that's
Oh my gosh.
I feel like you were a lot closer than I was. So like
Yeah, that's
you
like
know,
right
it felt like it.
5-6 years away
I
from.
was at that point where I was like, man, this is going to happen, and when it didn't, it was just like,
right.
you're just
It's even more
like,
detrimental.
You feel like a lost dog on a rainy day on this
Yeah.
abandoned street.
Like, where do you start?
Yeah,
At
it
that
was,
point.
yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
And where?
Wow.
So after you didn't become a fighter pilot, how did you transition into becoming a lawyer? Like
Okay,
that's
so
that's a drastic.
This is a big driver for the podcast. Okay?
Yes.
So I had exhausted all my options at this point because I was like, all
How
right,
old are you?
I would have been 30-ish at the
Okay.
time. Okay. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going the Air Force route. I'll try to get into the Army and I'll fly helicopters and then I'll get my, I'll go fixed wing and then I'll transfer to the Air Force eventually. I was like, I am going to get there, period. Well, I had to study. I took the test for the Army and I didn't get the age waiver at that time, because I'm too old. You know what I mean?
Right.
I scored really well.
Wow.
So it was like I had exhausted all the options. And so I have a son. He's 21 right now. But at the time, he was little baby, almost. Okay. And so I had to hire an attorney to establish paternity and like parenting time and all that
Of
other
course,
stuff.
yeah.
And I was talking to her like this, and her name's Laura. And I was like, Laura, I'm not going to be able to fly. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And she looked at me and she's like, why don't you go to law school?
like right out the gate.
Isn't that crazy how it happens?
And literally, Holly, my wife, says it was a rebound, and it definitely very likely was, because it was like, I thought about it for like a day. I thought about it then, and then I went home and I thought about it even more, and I was like, all right, I'm going to law school. And that's how it happened.
That's such a huge commitment to make, I think, especially at that age. Like, what made you want to do that? I think that's
How many years
not
is it?
easy.
3
Yeah,
or
that's
4?
not something you just do
I had
overnight.
already had my 4-year degree, and but so you have to study for the LSAT, and I had already been studying for like all of these other tests to try to
ASVAB and all that.
officer qualifying tests, all this other stuff. I was finishing my degree, so it felt like I was just like this eternal student, like I was never going to not be a student. And so I'm, now I'm like, okay, I have to study for the LSAT, and I've always been like a hands-on person, so book work to me is like hard. My reading comprehension is horrible. Period.
Yeah.
So I'm studying for the LSAT, and they have practice tests. I'm taking practice tests, and this was like, I think I studied for like 8 months, because I would take a practice test.
Oh my gosh.
And then I took the LSAT the first time, and I did so bad that I was like, I'm not even going to see the score, because you can cancel your score.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to study. I'll keep studying. I think this was like 8 months. Actually, I quit my job. I was I was selling cars.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, like I got to quit my job. I got to get this, like I got to full steam ahead on this.
Right.
And so then I finally, take the test, and I do okay. It's not as good as I want, but yeah, that's how it all happened. So that's how I became a lawyer.
Wow.
And I didn't really talk to anybody about what it would be like to be an attorney.
Right.
And because
What is it like? What is it like?
it depends. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, what kind of attorney are you?
I've been like litigation, so like court trials and stuff like that.
Okay.
You could do well. You know what I mean? It really depends. Like it's kind of like being like a doctor or a dentist. You know what I mean? Like you have this, like, if you don't talk to people, you're gonna be like, oh, dude, I'm gonna make all this money. Because as soon as people hear a lawyer, they're like, they just assume you got a lot of money.
Oh yeah, right
You know
off the
what I mean?
bat.
Right.
Just right out of the gate. And it's like, it could be the case depending on what you want your life to look like. If you go to like a really good school, and you do really well, and you like intern over the summers at these like fancy like law firms and stuff, yeah, you could probably get out and make $200,000, but your life's gonna suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your life's really gonna suck.
Right.
And I did not go that route. But, you know, if I could go back, I would do so many things different. You know, I think a lot of people probably feel that way. But you know what I mean? I probably would have went more the corporate route. Probably would have tried to get into like a private company, like on the smaller end.
Right.
And then like you like grow with the company, and then the company goes private, and you have all these like shares in the company that, you know, when it was
Becoming
private.
a partner.
Yeah, you know, and things
ownership.
like that. So,
Yeah.
but you know, it's never too late to, you know, so, you know, things are like changing and things like that. But, yeah, that's the story of how I became a lawyer.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Love it.
I don't remember how we got on that.
Gut wrenching. Like, what did you ask? What did you want to do?
Right, yeah. But
Wow.
And you said baseball right out the gate. That was weird.
and you know what's weird is like I you know how like random stuff pops up on YouTube, right? And I don't know how it happened, but like these like they would have these like fast, like I don't even know what it is. It's like college people like pitching really fast, and there's like these like recruiters watching them, and they're throwing like 95 mile an hour fastballs,
Right.
and it's like you could just see the power in the arm and the throw. And I'm like, dude, if you're doing that every day for years,
Yeah.
because you can just hear when it's that one person
Oh my gosh, yeah.
in like this area, and they got the little, you know, the thing, and everybody's watching them. You can hear the amount of like energy that they're like expending to just throw that one pitch. And then I think about it, I'm like, dude, that's got to be bad at some point.
Right.
Or imagine like as they grow older.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Their pains.
this got me thinking, you know who he should interview?
Who?
My boss.
Who? Oh, totally.
Rob
Oh
Purvis.
my God.
Yeah.
And
He's a character.
He is a character.
I would love to do that at some point.
He
for
was
sure.
a baseball
He was
player.
a baseball
really?
player. He played for the White Sox.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Blew out his arm. Like literally what you're just describing. That's what rung the bell.
Yeah.
And after he blew out his arm, he had to transition into lending.
man.
He had to hang up
And he
his
became
jersey
like
entirely
the top loan officer.
and became a
which is-
top loan officer.
It's like, how do you go from being a baseball player to being the top loan officer? Like, that's just so
That would
crazy.
be a cool interview
Yeah,
to,
that'd be
to
super
watch.
cool. Was it like heartbreaking for him when that happened?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's still heartbroken.
it still
about
hits him pretty hard.
Oh my God.
I can only imagine. You know, and it's like, I guess on the good side, it's like he got to experience that lifestyle, but then I guess that's on the bad side too, because then it's like, well, you knew what you're
that close,
had, you know, like,
right?
and it's
Got it
like,
taken away just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He saw like all of his teammates from the White Sox go and win a ring without him, like 2 or 3 years after.
Oh.
So that one probably hit him pretty hard.
It's really sad that, like, you know, it's like I think a majority of people don't get to live the dream that they had, you know, when, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then the people that do, it's like, great, that's awesome, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so happy, I'm happy for that person, but it's like, when it's that deep, you know, you carry that with you
Right.
everywhere, you know what I mean? And it's not all the time, it's not like you're dwelling on it, but it's like, you know, for me, it's like, I hear planes all the time, you know, it's like,
Right.
you know, it's like you see
Be
it,
next
it's
to
like, it's
Like
Davis
certain
Monta.
triggers.
totally,
Yeah.
you know, so.
That's true.
And you know, sports are a big thing. They're always
Or
on
like
TV or
Right.
commercials.
Watching your friend like that comes up on
Yeah.
the Pirates
Oh
on
man,
It's crazy.
Instagram. It's like,
Oh,
what the?
and he's so nice.
He's like, yeah, he's so sweet.
Another one of our buddies.
That's cool.
We went out to the field and we got on-field access and
Yeah,
we
he,
got
like, put
autographs
us on
from
the
the
field.
players. So that was awesome. That was a cool experience.
yeah, that's really cool. Well, this is, you know, this has been really fun.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, so awesome.
Anything like you want to say to somebody that wants to be a loan officer?
Yes. It's a really hard road if you're willing to put in the work and continue to grind through, you know, the monotony of markets you can't control, working for 30, 40 different bosses. It is an extremely rewarding business, not only like monetarily, but with relationships as well.
Nice. And what about you, Zarina?
Wow. I mean, if you want to become a real estate agent and have goals of becoming your own boss one day, I think it's a great route for you, especially if you want a flexible schedule. You don't want a cap on your income. It also gives you so many opportunities to meet people and eventually reach financial freedom.
That's a big one.
That's good.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you two being here today.
Yeah.
And, for those of you watching, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions for Dillon or Zarina, put them in the comments. I'll ask them and I'll respond in a comment. And, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.